Okay.
Hello, class. My name is Jonathan Banks.
I'm Rafi Kerbershan, and this is the Day of the Dead. Day of the Dead, Dia de Muertos, is a Mexican holiday celebrated throughout Mexico and around the world in many other cultures. The holiday focuses on the gathering of family and friends to pray for and remember friends and family members who have passed away. It is particularly celebrated in Mexico, where the day is a governmental holiday.
So what do? During the holiday, there are some common traditions, like making altars called ofrendas, honoring the deceased using sugar skulls and the favorite foods and beverages of the party, and visiting graves with all of these as gifts. They also leave possessions of the deceased at their graves.
For ethnography, we took a tour of the Los Angeles Museum during the Day of the Dead. We took the Metro Red Line from North Iowa Station down to the Gold Line, where there was holiday festivities. As we rode down the train line, we got off at popular stops and made observations. We took notes of all the interesting observations that were made. Before we took the trip, we discussed that we were looking for insights on the socioeconomics of the Latino people and also look for examples of normal dynamic communication.
Also, we knew to look for gender, age, and race. Finally, we told ourselves to assess whether we believe the people were there on the train for necessity or out of their actual own want to be there. Our findings on this trip were actually pretty interesting, looking back on everything that we found.
During the trip, we came to three theses regarding public communication among Latinos during the Day of the Dead. An epidemic tone is employed and expressed as a celebration. Ofrendas use pathos to invoke deep emotion in the remembrance of the dead, and a sense of identification is used to foster commonalities within the culture.
All of the festivities corresponded to actual functions of epidemic oratory, otherwise known as special occasions. Ofrendas served in commemoration of the dead. Bigote band music was played as serving to entertain, and vendors were actually there to somewhat serve as a celebration. The holiday focuses on gatherings of families and friends to pray for and remember friends and family members who have died, as said by Stanley Brands in 1998, pages 442.
The ofrendas are a form of pathos for the holiday. One of the ways Latinos celebrated the Day of the Dead is through the ofrendas, commemorating the dead loved ones. They used skulls, candies, incense, and pictures of the deceased to show how they wanted to hold and keep their family members even when they had passed away. As Elizabeth Carmichael stated, traditions include building private altars honoring the deceased using sugar skulls, marigolds, and their favorite foods and beverages of the departed, and visiting graves within these as gifts. Carmichael, 1991, page 15.
Among Latino culture, the holiday signifies a time for the families to come together and honor their past. Dancing in the plazas brings the people together. The skulls of the past are prayed over by the family. And as Paul Conklin said, observance of the holiday in Mexican-American communities in the United States has become more important and widespread as the community grows numerically and economically. 2001, pages 38 through 41.
What we observed. When we attended the museum, we observed the museum for all it had to offer. We had many forms of art ranging from portraits to altars dedicated to passing away family members. All the artwork was a bit spooky, but it was still very interesting.
Not only was there the typical tourists giving themselves a tour of the holiday, but there was also people of Mexican descent coming over to honor the event. One of the people that we were able to talk to, although we didn't actually get his name, we asked him what brought him there. Their response was, "I really enjoy the artwork my culture brought onto our people." We don't know his name, but he said in 2013.
The proximities we walked on were quite elaborate. Even though altars are all generally containing the same thing, there's a lot of individualism people put into these altars. This one, for example, has a large mural behind it to represent the freedom.
We actually observe a lot of symbolism within all of the ofrendas, which are actually the altars. The candles, marigolds, and incense all serve in a different form to help guide the dead back to their altar so that they can be there when the Day of the Dead celebrations actually do occur. This song represents continuance of life. The photos are usually positioned in the center of the altar. Bread also symbolizes departure from this world. And the sugar and sugar skulls are a symbol of death and offering to the altar. They a lot of times have fresh fruit, whatever is in season at the time, and other foods, which are actually foods that the deceased enjoyed in their lifetimes, which also help bring them back to the altar.
But one thing that we questioned was the merchandise. On the Day of the Dead, we also found vendors willing to sell us Day of the Dead themed merchandise. They range from candles to iPhone cases and everything in between. We questioned the ethics of these vendors, wondering if it was respectable to profit on a holiday, especially for dead ancestors.
So in conclusion, in California there's a definite Latino presence, and even at CSUN. So this makes these observations especially important to us. The Mexican people have a very interesting holiday that honors the dead. And it also shows us that the Latino people actually view death in a much different way than we do in America. The methods of honoring their family members was unique and something we personally had not experienced in our own cultures because we view death on such a negative light, whereas they believe it to be a celebration. This is a very emotional time for all the people celebrating because families are gathering together to pray, eat, and enjoy each other's company. Taking all this into consideration, we'll be able to apply our findings to our exchanges within our community.
Now here's the call to action. Next time Halloween comes up, instead of dressing up like some ghosties or ghoulies, respect the dead. Get some face paint done or doodle some art. Light a candle or two, put it up on an altar and respect your ancestors.
This is our work site.